What up, y'all? What up? So, here today, you know, Friday the 13th. Pretty scary day, but it's one of my favorite days. You know what I'm saying? Album review time. Some call it a mixtape. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I'm calling it an album. Drake dropped off. If you're reading this, it's too late. Now, I done heard a lot of things about basically the title was dissing Birdman and so forth and so on. Shout out to my boy Sever the Bond. He did a video. Check his channel out, saying how can Drake drop an album, but we still ain't got the Carter Five. We got a Nicki album, so definitely check his vlog out because bruh is really funny. And people on Twitter were saying that, oh, this is better than Sorry for the Wait 2. Then they retracted their statement by saying Sorry for the Wait 2 is better. You can't even compare the two. Wayne doesn't do original music, so how can you compare original music to original song? I mean, original music to a freestyle, basically jacking a beat. So I think people is way off with that. I'm not even gonna compare the two, but definitely this is if people could say that this is him being light, this is hell of a light project. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, it had the instrumentation on the album alone was flawless. Like I had no problem with the production. None of the production was bad. Now I do have some key points with the project that I felt it shouldn't have went down like that. Like okay, Party Next Door, you know, he gave him a solo song that was cool. Then the record they did together, it was okay. You know what I mean? It was dope, but I wouldn't have Party Next Door on it. But there's really no features on here except for Lil Wayne, of course. Party Next Door, and that's basically it. Like the first track called Legend, the beat was crazy. You know, the background instrumentation. If y'all didn't peep it, the genuine sample in the back was phenomenal. A good melody. You know, I like the hook. His flow was kind of weird, but in a good way. And his lyrics was open. You know what I mean? Who don't want to be a legend? Number two, Energy, a real dark beat. I like his flow. He kind of spazzed and took shots as far as his lyrics, but he was honest as hell in his lyrics, and I liked the hook. It was cool. 10 bands, that song get 3 checks. Yeah, I'm bringing it back, 3 checks. You know, the beat was hard as fuck. His unique ass flow, that flow was so fucking crazy. You know, and I thought that I'd have a problem with him rapping how he rapped on Worst Behavior and shit like that, but this nigga used so many different flows in this album. It was crazy. He was spazzing in them lyrics. It was just a dope ass song. You know, moving on to number four, Know Yourself. It was a cool song. Um, I like the ending clip. You know, I don't know if that's Bob Marley or whoever that is, but I just like the ending. And the beat dropped back in, and like it stopped. It did that little excerpt, that little clip, and then it dropped back in. So I thought that song, that shit was dope. Number five, No Telling. Yet again, I want to know if that's Bob Marley in the clip. I thought the beat was incredible. I love the instrumentation. I thought the hook was cool. He was cocky, and a lot of people say they don't like when Drake being cocky. You know, he was cocky in his lyrics and his flow. But the one thing people kept saying is that the tough guy Drake, how is I didn't get the tough guy Drake, you know what I mean? Like I never understood when people say he acting tough. Like he's just saying certain shit and certain metaphors I think people don't really understand. But at the same time, it still was a dope record. Number six, Madonna. I love the background sample. I thought that was crazy. Now this is one of the songs to where, shout out to Sever the Bond. He kind of mumbled, you know, not his lyrics, but like the hook, and then he rapped. But I listened to that shit like more than once, so I went back and was like, I just like the mumbling, but he makes up for it with his flow and the content and the lyrics. So it's still a good song, Madonna. Number seven, Six God. Um, he killed that song. It get 3 checks. Well, even though it's an old song, but his flow was just crazy. It grew on me because when it first came out, I listened to it like once or twice, and like it's still a good record. You know what I mean? But for some reason, it goes with the project. Number eight, Star 67. I like how you got the Lil Wayne joint in the beginning of the song to where it's like go in there in the studio with clips. It's basically a metaphor, you know what I mean? And he just killed it. He talked about his life story, uh, some deep lyrics in there. His flow was on point. The beat was on point. The beat actually changes up, and I was like, wow. He puts a lot of good work into getting the right team with his production, and just the storytelling alone. That song was crazy. Number 9, Preach, featuring Party Next Door. The production was crazy. I love that sample, and Drake verse was on point. I just really can't get into Party Next Door. He's cool, but it's just like, where's the weekend at? You know what I mean? Number 10, Wednesday Night Interlude. The beat was crazy, but I didn't like the song. You know, I think that Party Next Door was cool, but I just couldn't get into that. Used To, featuring Lil Wayne. Now, to me, this sound like new verses. I didn't go back and listen to Sorry for the Wait, but I have an ear for music. And if I'm correct, ain't these verses that Drake dropped new? Like, that's just my personal opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I definitely feel like those verses were new. The shit that he was saying, I didn't get the reaction as I did when I first heard it on the Lil Wayne mixtape. So that's the thing that kind of threw me off. Like, your ear just be like, whoa, what was that? You know what I'm saying? So that was me. So I definitely feel like that get 3 checks off back because I think his verses was dope. His flow was raw. Like, the hook was crazy. You know, and everything about the song just seemed new and refreshed. Number 12, Six Man. He killed that shit. The beat was crazy. The flow was ill. Flexing in his lyrics. You gotta listen to them sounds, them background sounds, you know, good melody. And at this point, I'm listening to it like, what the fuck is everybody else, you know, saying that it's so bad? Like, I bought the shit off iTunes, but just now listened to it no longer than, what, 2 hours ago? And then listened to it before I did this, so I'm not hearing what everybody else is, you know, whatever. But I enjoyed it. Number 13, Now and Forever. Basically a song about making money. Simply a great track. I love everything about it. The sample was excellent. He did his thing with that song. Number 14, Company, featuring Travis Scott. I knew I wasn't going to like it. You know, shout out to Travis Scott, but I just knew I wasn't going to like it. Number 15, You and the Six. Basically a song to his mom. You got to respect that. That get 3 checks. You know, I like how his wordplay fits the flow pattern that he used. His life story yet again. The hook was amazing. You know, I love his honesty. Drake always honest, and that's what I said in my other video, that if he really don't have nothing to talk about, he's not gonna make music. Number 16, Jungle. I thought it was great production and nice melody, but I couldn't get with it. And the last track, 6 p.m. in New York. He murdered that, you know, that production. 3 checks. Of course, he took a shot at Tyga for his comments and vibe. The Diddy comment where it's like, I don't know your girl in public, but I know her, basically behind the scenes. The Watch the Throne shot at Hove, and then the Blood on the Leaves shot at Kanye. You know, also it can be interpreted, the first couple bars in the first verse could be shot at J. Cole and anybody in that new bracket, but that song is just flawless. Like, you know, great fucking song. I listened to that shit like 3 times back to back. Overall, it's not perfect, but at the same time, it's something new from Drake. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I like 14 out of 17 records. The beats was all on point. It's just that the ideas just wasn't there, in my personal opinion. So I loved all the production. It's just that the ideas that he wanted to do with those songs, it didn't work. But yeah, man, Drake, if you're reading this, it's too late. And I fucking enjoyed it. I don't know about y'all. I think y'all should go back and listen to it. Like, first listen to it for the production value, get all the sounds, you know, that's playing each record, then go back again and add the lyrics, the hook, the melodies, and then that's how you will have a great body of work. And when you listening to it, it's a different experience, you know what I mean? Or you can just listen to it backwards from number 17 all the way through, and that's kind of different, you know what I mean? So I definitely feel like this is a solid piece of work. I'm glad that I actually purchased it instead of listening to it for free, which gave them a choice. But other than that, I had to drop it off. Hope y'all enjoy it. And yeah, happy Friday the 13th. Oh yeah, like, comment, subscribe.